Hi, I'm Pat Sloan. I've been working with Crafter's Companion Gemini Die Cut machine, and I'm so excited because they have some new dies, and I told you I'd show them to you. I did a little blog post about it, and here is a video on one of them, my favorite one, but let me show you what came in. There are a new set that I got from Crafter's Companion. This is the orange peel, so there's a bunch of different sizes of orange peels, and there's what they look like made up. I've got, let's see what we got here. Here is the apple core, and also that's what the apple core quilt looks like made up. I've always wanted to make an apple core, so I thought that was pretty exciting. Generally, I'm going to try doing that one too, but not today. These are the Dresden plates, and there's a Dresden plate on the back. And actually those circles can be used for a lot of things. You could do yo-yos, you could do just circles on your quilt if you like that size. And then this one is for strip sets. So yeah, really the rectangle you will cut a strip. So I'll have to do that one another day. These are super cool. Today though, I'm going to do the tumbler. And this is the tumbler, and I've already opened it up and taken out the dies. This is the biggest one. So there are 4. So there you can see what a tumbler quilt looks like. And so I figured I want to do the biggest die. My mom, I need to make a little quilt for her from my Bonnie Lane fabric, which I have this basket of all of the sort of extras from when I was making the quilts for the trade show. So these were the pieces like off the yardage, and I thought, oh, I got them all in there, so I thought, oh, I'm going to do that for her. But I'm going to use the biggest die because the quilt will get made up faster. That's how my brain thinks. Although I do think the little ones make darn cute tumblers, like it's super darling. But today I'm going to show you the big one. Now, if you're not familiar, let's take a look at the Gemini Die Cut machine. I have some other videos for it. I'll link them down below here so you can go see them all. But basically it's an electric machine. I think of it like a pasta maker because we'll have a sandwich of things that go in this slot, come out the back slot here. There we go. So it'll come out the back. You can't stick your fingers in the back even. It's got a foolproof door on there. So this whole thing goes in here. We'll hit the button and it'll just automatically run through. There's no cranking or anything like that. So I'm going to show you how that all works, and we're going to do it with the dies. And these dies, they store, I just have like one box and I'm keeping all the dies in it. They take up so little room, which is fantastic if you have space issues or just don't want to have boxes of those big thick dies some of the other ones have. And you can see here that the die itself is thin, and it's very lightweight, it's metal, it has like a ridge. That ridge side will go down on the fabric because it will be pushed through on the rollers inside this machine. And so the smooth side is always on the top. And there's a little set of things that we sandwich it all together with, which I'll show you in a minute. One of the interesting parts about the tumbler block is it's not square. You know, it has a smaller end and a wider end. That means when you're cutting, let me just pull my Bonnie Lane fabric down here. This is Bonnie Lane that'll be in your stores. Let me show you the front. Oh, so excited. This is my Benartex fabric. It'll be in your shops in September. When you're doing a tumbler block, you need to rotate. If you cut this way, then the next one you're going to cut that way. You're going to rotate, you know, the template, the die in this case, so that that angle is getting the most efficient cuts. Well, in order to put it in the machine, if I just fan folded it, I would have wasted strips that would be like this, you know, in between these. But I could fan fold it so that I can do one pass with the die facing this way and then refold it and do a pass with the die facing that way. So this is how I approach that. I need to mark just real easily, which I will take out then. Do not leave these pins in here. But here is where I'm going to be frugal. I mean, not frugal. I'm going to be a little bit generous. I mean, if you get good at this and you're doing it all the time, you can really be very, very frugal and not waste, you know, you can make this a little bit narrower up here, cutting that, you know, cut it off the bolt. These will happen to be pieces I had already. So now I need to rotate this die, right? So if I'm rotating it, it goes like this. And that will be the second cut. So I will I don't want to mark down here. That's, you know, I want to know where the whole fold is. So I want to mark out here. And this is how I'm going to fold it then. I will fold here and there. So that, whoops. And I'm just going to fold, not that way. Sorry. I want to fold all the way out to the main one. That didn't look right. Okay, so what I have here now is, because this is not long enough to do 2 full sets, I will have 1 set of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then when I rotate the die, I will do another set. And I might be able to squeeze 4. Whoops. Let me just pull this up. I might be able to squeeze 4 out of that. So let me pull that back so you can see a little better. All right, this is just like you're sitting in the room with me. I have to keep rearranging everything. So now I'm going to pull these out. We do not want those in there. No, no, no. Now I need to put this one back the other way. I rotated it, right? And you want to be sure that everything is lined up. Like I don't want to put this out here because this piece under here is shorter. Do you see that? My basket's in the way. There we go. So I want to be sure I have everything proper. Now I will put down the plastic pieces that we need, the pieces we need to cut with. There are 2 of these plastic shims, and I have other videos on this. So, whoops, not yet. So I can show it to you. We have a metal one. Well, these are plates. The plastics are plates, they call them, and these are the shim. And I usually rotate this a little bit on the piece so that it goes through at an angle into the machine. And then there is a plastic shim that goes on top of this, but I've been using cardstock, 6 pieces of cardstock taped together, because I find that that just works really well. It doesn't warp as quickly, so it lasts a super, super, super long time. And then another plate. So let's get to it here. I will shift this over so that you can see. I think we can see it coming both in and out. There we go. And I will pick up the whole sandwich now and put it into the machine. And when I do this, it's already on, because you can see the lights on, and I don't have to do anything but just get it started. There, now it grabbed, and it goes right through, and it's pressing like a pasta machine. It says pressing that die, which had the ridges down. So, and then you can hear it, and that's normal. You're going to hear those noises. It's not hurting anything. And what we have then is our project. So I'll pick these up, and I should have, yay, all the dies coming right off here. Whoops, got one that's caught a little bit there. All I need is a pair of scissors if that happens. Just got a little snip there that didn't quite come off. So I've not used this die. This is the first one. So there we go. Had a tiny little snip that didn't come through. So I'll have to see if I got like a little burr or something on the die, which it could be. They are manufactured, so I will check that. Then what I want to do is go through all of this again by switching this way. So now the die is rotated. Here you can see I had the long piece and then the short piece. So when I put this through, let me get the machine over. Run it right. I don't want this stuff hanging off the end because it get caught in the machine. So we'll just whoops. Let me just cut that off. There we go. Run the others through there. And it's going to be pressing down there, creating these tumbler shapes. Back out the outside. And then I have the rest of them. And so there's very, very little waste. There they go. See, that all came out on this one. So there was just a little something on that other one, which might have been something on the metal. You know, and that all you do is just trim it if you find a little thread that gets stuck. Here we go. These all came out perfectly. So I sewed a couple of these together. And it's always good to know how to troubleshoot, right? Because that's life. Life is full of troubleshooting. So here they are. This is how big they are. The size, let's see where that went. It tells you on the back of the sheet. I forget, oh, it's up here. So the tumbler, the large size is 5.6 by 5.5. And then the next size down is 4.6 by 4.5, which you could cut from charm packs. So I think that that is super cool, that size down. I could just take a charm pack that I love, cut a bunch of these, cut an alternate color so that you could just alternate a solid, which would be very cost effective, particularly if there's like a basic out there that you like that's on sale. So here it is, and I want to show you one more thing, is that when you line these up to sew them, I'm going to show you, my friend Jen Tyrone did an amazing video on all of this, and let me just get really down close here so that we can see. When you're lining up the two pieces to sew, get a couple over here that are not sewn together, they go like this because of the shape of it. They are not, that one's, you know, they're not being sewn, you know, here, they're the same direction. They have to rotate, one has to be rotated. And then what I do is you just line up the two of them pretty much corner to corner. And what I like to do is have just a little bit over on the top, just a teeny weeny dog's ear. They call those little dog's ears, just a teeny weeny little bit. And then when I've sewn it, here's one that, whoops, wrong end. There you can see. It's barely over, just 1/8 of an inch even. Then when you open it, they are even. As you can see, even at the top and even at the bottom. So that is it. That's the tumbler. So my next thing is to figure out, do I want to do, my mom will like the floral, and she really loves things that look very, you know, gardeny and outside and warm weather. So now my thought is, do I make just a tumbler of just 2 fabrics, or do I mix it up with the other peach and green from the line, peach and orange and green? What do you think? Well, if you're looking for a Gemini die cut, I have a link to it. If you use my links, it doesn't cost you any more, but it supports my small family business. So I'll put all of that down there, the links to all the different dies and the links to the machine. It's wonderful. I just love it for cutting all these shapes, and I've been using it for half square triangles like forever. So thank you so much. I'm Pat Sloan. If you have any questions, leave them down there. Bye-bye.